Negative Nietzsche, fascism, closing of the American mind. So, as I mentioned before, Nietzsche is a very provocative uh, writer and philosopher. Has something of a bad reputation, right? Which has recently, in the last 20 to 30, 20, 30, 40 years, been rehabilitated a little bit. Uh, the bad reputation goes back to two things. One would be his association, just the fact that he's a German philosopher, and he's a German philosopher that is adopted by the Nazis. Okay, so long after he's dead, adopted not by the Nazis, largely not because the Nazis um, really understood Nietzsche, or if they did understand Nietzsche, they would have never used him. But they use certain sort of quotable ideas, or quotable sort of mottos from Nietzsche, and his Nietzsche's sister, who was a bad apple, was an anti-Semite who controlled his legacy after his death. She's the one who really pushes Nietzsche into the Nazi orbit. So he gets a bad reputation that way. Again, it's been rehabilitated, in the post-World War II era, so that to the point where Nietzsche has become something of a contemporary star. And that points to the second provocation of Nietzsche within American culture. So a lot of conservatives blame Nietzsche for the postmodern sort of condition that we live in, right? The postmodern condition would be the relativizing of truth, right? There is no longer any sense of truth out there. There's no grand narratives, grand stories that we can tell, right? Everything is basically, predicated on lies, right, or on insecurities, or on half truths. And so it's any type of system building, any type of story building, any type of philosophical building, any type of spiritual building, right, is all in the postmodern condition or the postmodern view seen in a very negative light. And so, a certain aspect of American scholarship or American culture, blames Nietzsche for that. So, and it's probably well deserved and true. So you just want to keep that in mind as well. Writing Nietzsche and reading Nietzsche, I've mentioned this before: aphorism, parable, parody, irony, and metaphor. These rhetorical tropes, these sort of moves, right? This is the type of way he's trying to write, and this is often in contrast to the way that we write, think, and read.